Thanks to their performance in Ukraine, Australia is selling a fleet of Bushmaster protected mobility vehicles to the Netherlands. Now, I've covered the Bushmaster before, and it's one of my favorite exports from down under, mainly because several survived numerous Russian drone strikes in Ukraine and kept its crews alive on multiple occasions. I hope you've had your brekkie and gone to the dunny, because now the Dutch are asking for more of them. Wait, more? That's right, the Netherlands already operates these bad boys. What we do know is that the deal lands alongside a much bigger Australian investment, $1.2 billion for 268 new Bushmasters, upgrades to army trucks, and continued work on the Hawkeye tactical vehicles. Most of the new Bushmasters will stay with the Australian Army, and production at Thales, how do you pronounce that? I'm going to say Thales, even though I know it's not right. Production at Thales Bendigo facility is now locked through 2033. Hey friends, Wes here, multi-branch veteran and forever banned from the city of Brisbane. The Bushmaster has become one of Australia's most visible military exports. It's a combat-proven vehicle that has been under Russian fire, hauled Ukrainian soldiers through artillery danger zones, and come back with a reputation most armored vehicles would happily kill for. Plus, according to Ukrainian troops, it's downright luxurious compared to other battle taxis. It has plenty of legroom and serious air conditioning. Well, we'll get to the Netherlands deal in a second, but first, here's a refresher of the Bushmaster. It's an Australian-designed, Thales-built, four-wheel drive protected vehicle originally conceived for the Australian Army's need to move infantry through territory that actively wants to kill them. It runs on a diesel engine, weighs roughly 13 to 14 tons depending on configuration and what you've bolted to it that week, and is built around a monocoque hull, meaning the protection is structural. The design philosophy means the vehicle absorbs the punishment so the people inside don't have to. I really want one of these to park in my driveway, although I'm pretty sure my HOA would be pissed. A generation of Cold War era armored personnel carriers like the BTR series, the BMP series, and the M113 in its older configurations were designed around a different threat model. In these old-timers, mine protection was an afterthought. Undercarriage blast management was primitive. They were mostly built to withstand an RPG hit to the side. The Bushmaster, crikey, was designed from the start to manage the under and the over blast events, so mines from under and drones from over. The V-shaped hull redirects the energy of a mine or an IED outward and away from the crew compartment. The seats are energy absorbing and suspended from the roof rather than bolted to the floor, which means the shockwave traveling up through the vehicle has less of a direct path to the human spine. That small detail alone represents the generational shift in protected vehicle philosophy and is one of the key lessons coming out of the global war on terror. The vehicle can carry 9 to 10 troops in standard configuration, which is comfortable by military standards. It can be configured for command, reconnaissance, ambulance, and fire support roles, but the ambulance variant has seen particularly heavy use in Ukraine. One of the criticisms of older Western protected mobility vehicles was trying to give crews effective firepower without exposing them to incoming fire. That was an unsolved problem. The traditional solution was to put a soldier in a hatch with a machine gun. Now that works until someone shoots at the soldier in the hatch. Remote weapon stations changed that. The R400 station fitted to Ukrainian Bushmasters pairs a 7.62mm machine gun with a thermal imaging and a 360-degree traverse. The crew operates it from inside the vehicle, behind armor, using cameras and optics. They can engage targets at night. They can detect threats before those threats detect them. The 7.62mm caliber is a pragmatic choice. It's not going to defeat armored vehicles, and no one should pretend otherwise, but against dismounted infantry or ground-based drones, light vehicles, and the kind of close-range threats that ambushes generate, well, it gives the crew a meaningful defensive tool without forcing someone to perform the 1944-era hatch-poking maneuver. In the specific context of eastern Ukraine, where Russian UAV coverage has turned vehicle movement into a constant overhead surveillance problem, The thermal imaging capability carries real value. The crew that can see threats without presenting a heat or a visual signature is a crew more likely to make it to the objective. So, Australia has donated more than 120 Bushmasters to Ukraine since 2022. Ukrainian troops have used them for assault transport, casualty evacuations, and frontline movement in places where the road network is less infrastructure and more shell crater. The vehicles have drawn consistent praise for doing exactly what protected mobility vehicles are supposed to do: move people through danger. One Ukrainian driver, identified as Tur, gave a breakdown that cuts through the marketing language: roomy, armored, and fast to load under pressure. In wartime math, carries 9 troops sometimes means 18 soldiers with rifles, machine guns, kit, and the general emotional weight of moving toward Russian positions. In his estimate, troops could be fully loaded within about 20 seconds during evacuations. 20 seconds to load a full section under contact or incoming fire is the difference between a vehicle getting away and the vehicle sitting in the kill zone. Designers who prioritize entry and exit geometry, like wide door openings, low step height, interior space that doesn't require contorting around equipment stowed in the wrong place, are making life or death decisions. The Bushmaster's interior layout was clearly designed by someone who had thought about what happens when terrified equipment-laden soldiers need to get inside as fast as possible. That's engineering, shaped by the genuine understanding of the operational context of dismounted infantry. Tur's description of hearing every fragment ping off the BTR hull is familiar to anyone who's ridden in legacy Soviet equipment. It's a disconcerting acoustic experience that reminds the occupants with every metallic impact exactly how close the threat is. In the Bushmaster, those events are muffled. The armor absorbs the energy. The V-hull does its job. The suspension and the structure attenuate what reaches the crew compartment. Oh, and the air conditioning got attention too from Ukraine. The Bushmaster was designed for the Australian environment, which runs hot in ways that make Ukrainian summers look mild by comparison. The decision to build industrial-grade climate control into the platform was a design requirement. Ukrainian troops operating in summer conditions noticed. Okay, back to the Dutch. While the Netherlands already operates Bushmasters, this is a deliberate expansion by a sophisticated military that has evaluated the Ukraine evidence, compared it against their existing experience with the vehicle, and decided they want more of them. That's a qualitatively different signal than an initial purchase. Initial purchases involve sales pitches, demonstration events, and optimistic capability projections, but repeat purchases, especially during an active European war, involve operators who know exactly what they're getting and have decided it's worth acquiring at scale. The Dutch are not known for their impulsive procurement decisions. When they come back for more, it means the vehicle performed. For Australia, the timing is strategically useful. Also, Bushmaster's wartime record gives Canberra a stronger export case at exactly the moment when European NATO members are urgently expanding their protected mobility inventories. The vehicle has a known supply chain, a known logistical footprint, and now a very public battlefield resume written in the harshest testing environment currently available. Australia is now thinking beyond the standard troop carrier configuration. The StrikeMaster concept mounts naval strike missiles on the Bushmaster hull, turning a protected mobility vehicle into a mobile coastal defense and area denial platform that can reach out to at least 250 kilometers. Is it just me, or does StrikeMaster sound like a Nerf gun or a G.I. Joe toy? So, developed by Thales Australia and Konigsberg, the StrikeMaster mounts a twin-pack naval strike missile, or NSM, launcher on a modified Bushmaster utility chassis. The NSM is a sea-skimming, terrain-following precision missile with a range exceeding 250 kilometers, capable of engaging both maritime and land targets. The full StrikeMaster package includes a dedicated fire control center and a missile resupply vehicle, both built on the same Bushmaster platform, which simplifies logistics and keeps the entire strike system within a single vehicle family. The platform completed successful live fire tests in Norway recently. The concept generated real interest in Europe, where the combination of rapid deployability, established supply chains, and low procurement risk made it an attractive option for nations rethinking coastal defense in a hurry. Ironically, Australia ultimately selected HIMARS for its primary mobile fires, not its own co-developed StrikeMaster, but the StrikeMaster's development still matters for the export picture. Several European partners are working through exactly the threat calculus the system was designed to answer. And a Bushmaster family coastal defense capability that doesn't require building new support infrastructure from scratch is a compelling pitch in 2026. StrikeMaster is that doctrine given wheels and a warhead. There's also active development around counter-drone remote weapon stations on the Bushmaster, and here, the horizon includes directed energy options. That's right, lasers. Pew pew. The drone threat has matured fast enough in Ukraine that integrating counter-drone capability into the Bushmaster is now a very serious procurement question rather than a speculative future requirement. A Bushmaster with laser-based counter-drone systems would represent a meaningful step toward vehicles that can protect themselves from the threat environment that's actually killing vehicles in 2025 and 2026, not the threat environment that was killing them in 2003. So the Bushmaster's appeal is simple, which is itself a form of sophistication. It doesn't try to be a tank. It doesn't pretend it can solve every battlefield problem. It moves troops through dangerous ground, protects them from mines and fragments, provides decent situational awareness, and gives crews enough firepower to respond to the most common close-range threats. It loads fast, it runs in the heat, it absorbs punishment without transmitting all of that to the people inside. But the biggest accolade is that the Bushmaster has passed a harsher review board, Ukrainian soldiers who have used it under Russian fire and lived to file the after-action report. The Dutch acquisition is an evidence-based procurement decision in a security environment where the cost of getting equipment wrong is being paid in human lives, visibly, daily, on drone footage that circulates within hours of the event. That's probably the most credible endorsement Dales could ask for. That's it for today, my friends. Subscribing is the best free way to support this channel. If you've made it this far in the video, you're either a longtime subscriber or you're new and you're curious what this channel is all about. Well, I cover the Ukraine war, global security with a heavy emphasis on Europe, Canada, and Australia, and I hate authoritarian regimes. Welcome aboard. And as always, glory to Ukraine, glory to the heroes. Crimea is Ukraine.